You reach for your phone. Before your finger touches the glass, the screen is already on. That's not a coincidence, and it's not magic. It's a dedicated chip, built specifically to watch your phone's motion every second, using almost no power at all. Here's the actual mechanism. Since 2013, starting with Apple's M7 chip, iPhones have included a separate, dedicated motion coprocessor, a tiny secondary chip whose entire job is reading data from the accelerometer and gyroscope continuously, without waking up the phone's main, power-hungry processor. The accelerometer detects a specific pattern of motion, the kind of lift you'd make pulling a phone off a table or out of a pocket. The gyroscope confirms the orientation and rotation actually matches someone raising this toward their face, rather than, say, a phone sliding around in a moving car. Feature introduced in iOS 10 back in 2016, raise to wake. The two sensors working together, filtering out false triggers, is exactly what makes it reliable enough to trust running constantly in the background. That part is genuinely elegant. But it's easy to accidentally lump it together with a completely different system, one that doesn't actually react to your pickup motion at all. Predictive app suggestions. Apple's Siri suggestions and Google's on-device app prediction features both work by building a model of your habits over time, which apps you tend to open at which time of day, in which location, connected to which Wi-Fi network. When you unlock your phone at 7 a.m. At home, it's not the raise gesture triggering a prediction in that instant. The model has simply learned, from weeks of history, that's 7 a.m. At home usually means checking a weather app or a specific news app, and it quietly surfaces that guess. The pickup and the prediction happen close together in time. They're not actually the same system talking to each other. There's a third sensor working in the background too, doing something even less flashy, but constantly running. The ambient light sensor. It's not predicting anything. It's simply measuring the light hitting your phone dozens of times a second and feeding that into automatic brightness adjustment, so the screen doesn't blind you in a dark room or wash out in direct sun. Combined with the motion sensors and a phone's proximity sensor, which detects when the screen is near your face during a call, these three systems together create the sense that your phone is constantly, quietly aware of you. Because, in a very literal sense, it is. Just not in the single unified, it read your mind, way it can feel like from the outside. And that same raw sensor data doesn't only make your lock screen convenient. It's also become a genuine commercial product in industries that have nothing to do with your notifications. Usage-based car insurance is probably the clearest example. Companies like Root Insurance, Allstate's DriveWise, and Progressive's Snapshot mobile app all use your phone's accelerometer and GPS to score your actual driving behavior, hard braking, sharp turns, phone handling while driving, and adjust your premium based on that data, sometimes substantially. Some employers issuing company phones or requiring certain monitoring apps as a condition of using a personal device for work similarly gain access to activity and location data through mobile device management software, primarily justified around security and compliance, though the exact scope varies enormously by company and by country's labor laws. None of this is secret, exactly. It's just buried somewhere almost nobody actually reads. Every one of these capabilities is disclosed, technically. In a terms of service agreement or privacy policy, you almost certainly accepted with a single tap during setup. Apple and Google both publish documentation on exactly which sensor permissions an app can request, and both require apps to ask before accessing sensitive sensors. But technically disclosed and actually understood by the average person are two very different things, and the gap between them is where most of the discomfort about this topic actually lives. The good news: auditing exactly what your own phone is sharing takes a few minutes, not a computer science degree. On iPhone, Settings Privacy and Security Motion and Fitness shows you exactly which apps have requested access to your movement data, and lets you revoke it app by app. Android's equivalent lives under Settings Privacy Permission Manager, where physical activity and location permissions can be reviewed the same way. Both platforms also let you check which apps are actively contributing to those predictive suggestions, and disable personalized suggestions entirely if you'd rather your phone stop learning your patterns altogether. Your phone isn't reading your mind when the screen lights up before you've consciously decided to check it. It's running a genuinely clever, low-power motion detector that's gotten very good at recognizing one specific gesture. The part that actually deserves your attention isn't the lock screen convenience. It's everything quietly built on top of that same raw sensor stream, in industries your phone was never designed to advertise to you directly. If this changes how you look at your own phone the next time it lights up in your hand, that's the right reaction to have. Subscribe for more deep dives into the technology quietly running in the background of your daily life. And tell me in the comments, did you know your phone's motion data was being used by insurance apps before this video?